Hey everybody! Hiya hobgoblins and bugbears, dragons and everything else in between. Hope we're all doing great tonight. We're gonna do some hobbying. It's gonna be a blast. Let's go ahead and get the desk a little bit more organized. See, I left myself enough time to either eat dinner or clean off this desk before stream, and guess what I picked? I picked to smash a sandwich and half clean off the desk and then pretend like my desk was already halfway this clean. So, first thing we're going to do tonight is look at the models that we're going to paint. Look at this. We got a Drider. Ooh. And we have some Drow warriors. So, Underdark theme. Yay. And of course this weird spooky tentacle thing that we 3D printed. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prime some models. It's been a while since we actually primed stuff, so I figured it's about time that we did our own priming on some of these guys, especially because this Drider is a job for somebody else. I want to make sure to do a little bit of a better job than the Nullzor's base coat spray primer, whatever it is, that color that goes on there. So I want to make sure that that looks good. We'll probably use a different base. Does that even fit? Yeah, it's even too big. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh, get that out of here. Alright, so Drider. Ha. Drider, I barely know her. It doesn't really work, but we'll try. Alright, so where's all my shit? Alright, that was a bit, but I want to know. Oh, there it is. There we go. Airbrush cleaner off thingy. And then we need the airbrush itself. Here we go. It's all the way over there. Thank you so very much for the follow, Queen Sassy Cat. Love the name. That's pretty great. Harrow, got myself some chill. Really late dinner. Oh, the crazy Spino. This is a, actually, it's funny that you said Spino. This is a Spinosaurus. It's one of the models that I got to via Etsy. I bought it, and I was going to use it for like a T-Rex or something for the D&D Monster Manual. That was before I realized that I had some people in my community that were very into dinosaurs. So now he might just get thrown into a project, or he'll still be a T-Rex. Who knows? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what I decide to do. Alright, Mr. Airbrush, are you clean? Pretty sure I cleaned you. The cap. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty clean. That's pretty clean. So, it's been a while since we did any kind of priming or airbrush work on the channel. I think it might be fun to go back to that a little bit. Oh. And we have our nice fancy box for it. Always keep the box that these things come in. And then we got our cleaning kit, because God knows we're going to fucking need that. Because airbrushes are just dirty little birdies, aren't you? Bam. And then surface primer. Some Vallejo surface primer. But first things first, we got to clean off this Drider a little bit. Check out for any super awesome gross mold lines. Get rid of those. Alrighty. You got, yep, right there on the ridges of your little armor. So if any of you are not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons lore, Driders are created when a drow has been determined by both some priestesses of Lolth, as well as usually a handmaiden of Lolth is involved, or Lolth herself gives her blessing. A certain spell can be cast, turning what was originally a blasphemous drow, generally male or female, into this horrendous abomination of drow and spider, the avatar of drow, of Lolth. Hey Tyler Tenders, what's up, man? How you doing? You having a good time? Having a good weekend so far? I'm having a great weekend. But what is up with me? I just spent way too much money at the hobby store. Ugh. I got way too many models, guys. We gotta get through a bunch of these. So that's what's up with me. Went to the store because a local store of mine was offering an enamel pin with their store logo on it to anyone. I actually kind of like that. It's got a little acrylic pin in there to support the model. Anyway, I went to a store because they said, hey, if you spend $25, we will give you this cool little enamel pin of our store. And I was like, hell yeah, I can go spend $25. And then I spent way more than $25. I still got the pin though. And then I was posting up just to friends, community members, and Discords, and somebody was like, hey, can I have that Dreader? And I was like, you're done. So I'm going to paint this up tonight. Let's get our hot glue gun out. Alright. Oh, and before anybody leaves, don't forget, tomorrow night, we're streaming some Skyrim at about 10 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be streaming some... I downloaded a bunch of mods. I've been doing a playthrough where I'm a paladin, using only holy magic and something I've never used before, and that's a blunt weapon. A blunt mace and heavy armor. I've never used either of those things in Skyrim. So, I'm looking forward to doing that. Gasp! Yes! Cat, this is your driver! And of course I knew it was you, Queen Sassy Cat. Who else could be Queen Sassy Cat but Cat? And then I'm actually going to go pick up that the other model that you wanted to get, which was the Beholder, I believe. Yes, it was the Beholder. I'm actually going to go pick that up tomorrow from the store because they I want to go get another enamel pen and try and do better this time. There we go. Boom. And I'll be painting that up probably because I want to get the whole thing done real quick. I'll get it done here soon. Hey! Oh man, here we go. Vrodvacat. I hope I said that name right. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, oodles and boodles. With all kinds of poodles. Alrighty. Airbrush is spitting air. Alright. Let's get finished with this. That looks good. But yeah, so when a drow is deemed to be blasphemous, they get turned into one of these things. So cool. Hey, work Veronica. I don't have a non-work Veronica, so hi. It's so great to have you here. We're gonna paint some D&D models. For those of you that aren't aware, every Friday I've been hopping on live, and we are painting literally every single monster in this book. And it's been a lot of fun. We are about 30 monsters in. Somebody keep me honest. Somewhere between 18 and 30 monsters in. It's been a lot of fun. Now I have switched things up a little bit. Originally I was doing every single stat block. But that also includes really weird things like whale and ape and animals. So what I wanted to do instead is, and if we want to, and I get enough requests to, we'll go ahead and do those things, but I think we could find something else cool. Instead, we're going to stick to the actual monsters section. And yeah, we've painted so many things. It's been a lot of fun. Like let's see, last week we did the Ultraloth. I need to finish this guy's base. And we did the Spectator, which is a Beholder variation, which you can summon to guard treasure for you for, I think it was 101 years. Or 99, something weird like that. So there's all kinds of crazy monsters, like the Flump, that that a lot of people have never heard of. Is this? Oh, yeah. Oh, you're so close, buddy. Almost there, almost there. We're just going to add some hot glue. And we're just doing this to temporarily, just temporarily, affix this model to the base. And I promise everybody, when I remove this one later tonight, I won't stab myself like I did the last time. That upset some people. And my thumb still isn't quite 100% healed from that, so we'll do my best. I will do my absolute rickiest best. Where'd my thing go? Guys, where's the thing? Where's the little thing with the little nubbins? I found it! Guys, I found it! Nice, we have it. The most top-heavy painting stand holder in the world. I love it. We have it now. Okay, so I think we have enough to prime. We probably have enough to paint some stuff. Ooh, yeah, stick up. Next week I'm going to start work on probably some of the giants. We have to do, and those models are awesome. They're real big. I might pull those up later to show you guys, but the Giants by Noel's Heroes Marvelous Miniature are absolutely to die for, and I'm very excited to paint some of them up with you. And I picked up, that's kind of what made today's little shopping excursion a little bit more expensive than it probably needed to be, was buying all of the Giants. Oh man, I just dumped it all in there, didn't I? Okay, that's fine. Alrighty, gonna put our glove on for safety. Oh no, wrong hole. There we go. If I had a nickel for every time I put a glove on wrong, I'd have like 45 nickels realistically. Okay. So we're just going to shove this under there just to kind of protect our... I don't want to say nice cutting mat and like hobby mat, because it's definitely not nice at this point. But this one's less nice, as you can tell. Yes, it's been very warm here, which I love. My wife has been miserable. This week in particular has not been too hot, but I've been loving all the hot weather. I'm one that enjoys it a lot. My wife hates the type of weather that I enjoy. Like if it's 98 degrees and like really humid, I'm just pleased as punch. But when it's below 60 degrees, everyone can just, everything below 70 degrees can just fuck right off, in my opinion. Alright, so let's see how we're spraying. Black paint activated. Black paint activated. Okay, cool. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just start spraying down some stuff. I like waiting until I have a bunch of stuff to prime to kind of sit down and have a little prime session. Yeah, so this is just a black primer. You guys usually don't get to see me use primer and stuff, or I usually prime stuff before, or we do a lot of these Noel's Ears. We do a lot of the Noel's Ears ones that don't necessarily need primer, or already have a primer. I knew that hot glue wasn't hot enough. I knew it. And y'all saw me. I just ignored it right off the bat, and I was like, this is fine. Oh, man. I believe this, I think actually Driders are, they originally had a gender when they go into their form, but I know for a fact that, according at least to a lot of the R.A. Salvatore books and other depictions of them in Dungeons & Dragons, they are unable to reproduce. Now, I don't know if that is because they are just, like, sterile, or if they lack the necessary, hardware. But then I guess your the ability to reproduce and all that other stuff isn't necessarily 100% a representation of your gender. I think at that point the idea is that they're just so miserable that they don't really think of themselves as gender. They're supposed to just be upset all the time. What's your gender? Being upset. My gender is sorrow. Oh, that's good. It's like Invader Zim. What's in your pants? Doom. And there we go. We got a little black drow now. Yes, I love airbrushing. It's always a blast. We're just gonna grab this guy by the tail. Yes, priming and painting with an airbrush can be very relaxing as long as everything is functioning properly. And then the moment things start to go wrong, you just kind of, you're like, why did I ever use an airbrush? Why doesn't my airbrush ever work? All that. You question a lot of life decisions. Alright, you go over there. You're not going to stand up. You're just going to fall over immediately. Okay. Let's try again to get this Drider to do what I want it to do. Cow. And I guess I was trying to be a little bit, I was a little too hesitant on it before. I just didn't really want to jam it in there. Really didn't want to jelly it onto the base, as it said. What is that joke? Like, difference between jam and jelly. I understand where that joke goes, and we can't finish that joke on stream. But yes, I think that's kind of it. All right. I would say the cool thing about the Null's Marvelous Miniatures is you don't actually have to be quite as precise about when you prime it, making sure you get every tiny little nook and cranny, which is nice, because it is primed underneath. It's something I hadn't really thought about before I started doing this. Okay, we got plenty of primer left in our little airbrush, so I'm actually going to grab something else I need to prime. One sec. Yeah, so I got these volcanic walls 3D printed, and I want to get them primed up here. This is for this next crafting video that'll be up on the YouTube channel. You can look for the current Trash Wizards Traveling Diorama build here in a couple of days. Given that it was for a local shop challenge, I actually had to lend it to the local shop so they could take pictures and like do the voting and everything on it. And I realized I didn't film my intro on it, so I need to. I told them, I was like, "Hey, can I come pick that up so I can finish my YouTube video?" And they said yes, so I gotta go do that tomorrow. But these will feature in the next one, which is a Underdark and maybe Icewind Dale themed book nook. Little tiny book nook. A little nook in the book. Oh, what have we got there? I've got a little nook with a book in it. Oh. Is it like at home in the hallway? No, it's nothing like that. It's a book in a nook. Oh no, we're out of airbrush primer. Ah! And then that's it. Cool, perfect. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean this out a little bit. Get rid of that cup. Alright, am I done with you, Hot Glue Gun? I think I am. I think I fucking am. Ah. Alright, and you guys are just going to get set over here on the shit I'm dealing with later. And then we're going to clean the airbrush, but we're also still going to need it for a minute. Because we're going to do the rest of our Zenithal Prime. Shkapow! Oh man, I missed. I went everywhere. I'm just so excited to be here with you guys. This never happens, I swear. All over the desk. Okay. It's a very satisfying sound. Ah, it's just all over my face. Okay. Should have seen that coming. Alright. And then the coup de grace of all of that nastiness inside sounds like you're brewing some potions. I love that. I love that idea. We're just going to throw some airbrush cleaner through it. Shkapow! Not a ton. We're only going to do like one pass with it. And we're just going to jiggle our needle back and forth like a record. Like we're going wicka wicka wicka. Like that. We're just going to clean this out a little bit because we still need, we're going to do one more thing before we put the airbrush away and go at it with wicked awesome brush strokes. That's going to be some white primer. And again, as I mentioned before, I usually, if I'm doing something else, like I'll use acrylic ink for this next part, but I've never planned ahead in my life, so I usually just end up using primer. Oh wow, you guys can actually see it a lot better than me. The smoke coming out of there. Not smoke, little tiny water particles. Alright, cool. That's clean enough. And the reason I don't use acrylic ink for this while I do it live on stream is because I usually want to paint the thing immediately after. So, and this is my paint cup, and it's dirty as hell, so it's going to no longer be my paint cup. Damn it. We're going to need a secondary paint cup. Remember, kids, never go with a stranger to a secondary paint cup location. Alright, and then we're going to use some white primer. We're just going to start to add the initial highlights to our models here. Where did the thing go? Found it. Found the thing. And then we just add a little bit of airbrush thinner in there, and we're just gonna gently mix up a little bit. And then we'll start with the model that we did first, which was this guy. We're going to just add a little bit of white into into our models. Focusing mainly on the top areas, but also this is just going to add a little bit of color to help us see all the details and such. Oh, I never actually cleaned up that water, guys. You should have said something. Ugh. I gleeked all over the desk there with that water bottle. Oh, there we go. See, it gives a nice grayscale appearance. Oh, you almost had it there, camera. Ugh. Look at the model, though. Anyway, yeah. Look at that. Just gives us all of the details that we need. And finally, yeah, this one's having a little bit of trouble drying, so we're gonna have to not start with that girl tonight. Tends to happen if you accidentally let the primer on a little bit too thick. No big deal though. Okay. Or sorry, too thin. My bad. It's no big deal. We got some other models to paint too. Alright. Take a bow. You're trying to get your room to... I just see this. You're a monster. You're trying to get your room to 65 degrees, Shadow? What are you, a white dragon? That's insane. You're a monster. I get that. I would rather just overheat than be that cold. Don't you... No, Miss Veronica from work, don't you jump in on this and be saying that it's okay. If it's less than 70 degrees in wherever I'm at, it's too cold. It's too cold. It's insanity. That's why I do all my painting here in the basement, where it's really cold. No, I'm just kidding. Polar bear life. Polar bear life. I see that I'm outmatched here and outnumbered, but I swear, y'all are wrong. Human beings were meant to be at the same temperature as their body, 98 degrees. And I don't care who says that I'm wrong. It's not right. It's not accurate at all. But I do know you're Canadian. Frost Giant life. I did know that you were Canadian, so I was curious actually. Yeah, negative 22 degree temperature? Yeah, no, so I'd rather be dead. So like, if you're elderly and Canadian, are you just like upset all the time? Polar bear is the best I can do. You're a druid? Oh, that's fun. I hope that's in a Dungeons and Dragons game or something. Otherwise, I don't know whether to believe you or not. Because to believe is to be terrified. I dated a witch once. It was not a great time. It was like, and I get it. It's a religion. It's a perfectly honestly good religion. Wicca, all that good stuff. But it was kind of like dating somebody that's like really into their like really into Christianity, it still can be off-putting at times. So I'd say the same thing for anyone that's like into any religion. If you're like really into your religion and we're just like having a conversation and then you just start doing a thing in the middle of the conversation, it's a little off-putting. It's a little bit like, oh, well, okay. I was talking about my day, but now your eyes are in the back of your head. I hope everything's alright. I'm just going to sit here quietly until you're done. Hey, Pika Pika. Pie Master's here. How you doing, Pie Master? AKA Mr. John from work. You never hit me up about picking up your dwarves for this Saturday. So you lost your chance. I'm also free on Sunday. I don't work on Sunday this week. I can pick up the remainder of your dwarven models from you on Sunday. Where'd my airbrush go? Found it. Where'd the little cappy go? There it is. Yeah, I wanted to go for a hike today. But I forgot. And then I did other stuff. Kabow. Let's do it. Let's go. Oh. Oh yeah, so for the diorama, we had, where'd he go? Mr. Dritz. There you go. Mr. Drizzit doesn't. I had a lot of fun painting this guy. Drow Ranger that we all know and love, with Twinkle and Icing Death. Oh, hello there, Kenobi. I've also been rewatching the Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Lots of fun. Alright, time to get this dirty, nasty man out of the way. Look at that. And here's our clean one. You guys actually can't see how bad this looks, but I like that. Okay. Oh. So we need to wait just a little bit for that primer to tacky. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab another model that we don't. Do I want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on bigfollows.com? Gonna definitely have to say no. And I'm going to block you. I'm going to ban you immediately. Sorry. Goodbye. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, though. Y'all are talking about it so much, let's go ahead and paint up a frost giant. Ugh, my thumb in there. Ugh. I don't need that base anyway. Oh, that's like way under there. Yeah. He brought out the frosty. And you look out, all of you, you Harry Potters out there. I will freeze you and cut you up into chunks. Because you're a blizzard, Harry. You're a blizzard. Put you in a blender. Oh, everybody, the update on the little Eevee that we assembled and put together last week. My wife immediately stole it, so it's on her desk. So I might get another one to make, if Meyer has them in stock. Or rather, I won't say she stole it. I don't like it when people misappropriate. I showed it to her and she was like, oh my god, that's so adorable. I want one. And I told her that she could have that one. Because the only other thing was just me doing another one and Billy doing another one. I wanted to give her that one then to make her happy. Because my wife is the best. You, sir, got some dirty ass little horns. Steal all of the EVs? You wanted a better look at it anyway? Oh, the frost giant? Yeah. Wow. My camera really just hates me tonight, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. My camera doesn't hate me. I still just haven't learned how to appropriately set focus settings to do something like what I do with it. Get on the back. Get in that nice solid background. And here we come. Yeah, so it's a really cool sculpt. Of course, one of his arms is missing. So it's very Viking-esque. Obviously. There's the other arm. Yeah, he's a big boy. He's a big, pretty boy. Alright, and so there, that's what he'll look like when he has his other arm on there. Just going around, and we're going to file down all those little tiny imperfections. Just like we're a Los Angeles plastic surgeon. Need a hand. Was Fender hungry and ate his man. Aw. I like that actually, that kind of vibe. And then the one hand, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. If anyone's ever curious and wants to learn a little bit about Norse mythology, I would highly recommend Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. Phenomenal recounting of many stories by an actual expert in the field. It is beautifully told, beautifully told. I need to get a sturdier desk to do these things at. I can see the camera shaking, but I do my best, everybody. That's what I should spend money on instead of a bunch of models. But I need the models, otherwise I can't make stuff for you guys. Ugh. Just kidding, I have tons of models that I haven't done anything with. But these are all so good. These are different models. But Mom, these Pokemon cards are new. Oh, yes. It's literally titled Norse Mythology. Yes. That's the name of it. Great. Great listen. You can get through it in like a day or so. Neil Gaiman. Cat, are you still laying over there? Okay. Okay. She doesn't want to come over. Oh, geez, I bet that's really upsetting. Because I always call my cat Pepper. I just call her Cat. Okay. What does Frost Giant skin look like? Well, that's not helpful at all, box art. Box art in these models is always terrible. They do it, like, digitally. And, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, I also got Flumps today. Those guys are coming up here soon. Oh, there's different colors, types of boulders. They show that the different kinds of boulders. I mean, like, I would think that the boulders were just kind of whatever boulders in the environment. But so I still need to get a hill giant. And my cloud giant looks better than that. I mean, it's the last one I'm missing. Right? Yeah. Oh, I gotta get by the fire one too. Okay. How are we looking, guys? Still a little bit wet. That's okay. Same with you. You got some hairs from the resin cured. Shadow, you have a great rest of your evening, and I cannot wait for that big red dragon that you ordered to come in. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Oh, I always have a good night, even on my worst nights. Ow, my arthritis hands. Come on, ow. Why didn't I do that smarter? Okay. So I think we're going to lay down some base coats on this, and we should be good to start painting the Drider. So, I was wondering, if you like made close friends with a Drider, could you become a Drider rider? Because that's what I would want to do. I'd want to be a Drider rider. Just to put his arm on, and I was like, ah! No, it's like this. A Drider rider? Yes, yes, we can all fuck a Drider. It's fine. Let's all go have sex with Driders. But as we talked about earlier, we don't necessarily know that a Drider is capable of sex. We know they're not capable of reproduction. But are they capable of getting nasty? Actually, I think they are, because at one point, Yvonne, I forget the name of the Drider, Yvonne, talks about his mate. So maybe that's, because they definitely don't reproduce. But Yvonne does discuss his mate. And it's not like a first mate, it's like a mate. It's not like a mighty. No, it's like we're banging mate. Not like that. Okay. Hexalition, lichen. They have mouths and limbs. I mean, yeah, that's enough. life finds a hole. I think it's the famous quote from Jurassic Park, that life finds a hole. Here we go. We're gonna go and finally get to the painting of tonight. Just gonna go ahead and get started. Laying down a really deep purple on this, and we're gonna bring it up to a nice tentacle purple, if there is such a thing. Yes, I don't know. Like, I don't know which monster I'd bang from Dungeons and Dragons. Probably the Flump. No, that's horrible. That's why we need new identities. I see what you're saying now, Queen Sassy Cat. I don't think I'm familiar with that monster, I'm gonna be honest. Is that from Dungeons and Dragons? I guess I have the monster manual, and I could go look it up real quick. We could play Marry Fuck Kill, Doppelganger, Orc, and Gold Dragon. Or Cobalt, Goblin, Orc, Marry Fuck Kill. That would be a good one. I almost just cut my hand, like immediately, and all the way, not even a little bit. That was almost just like a full... Jesus. We need to stay safer, guys. PL... I was commenting on the Pliskibigit. Please, thanks, bye. Oh, well that's... Please, thanks, bye. Okay, okay, we're fine. We're fine, we're all fine. I understand. Marry the dragon, fuck the doppelganger, kill the orc. Really? What about orc, goblin, kobold? Yeah, that was a natural one moment, for sure. Oh, man. Yeah, it's a tough one. I definitely wouldn't marry the orc. I might marry a kobold, though. Just because I would be able to boss him around. Okay, we've got our purple base coat down, and we are marry the kobold, fuck the orc, and kill the goblin. Yeah, I think that's kind of the only option too. Thinking about it. What about a solar planar and sorry, a solar a Deva and an Aranese? I would definitely fuck the Aranese. Demon done. And then probably after that, I wouldn't ever be satisfied again. Oh, so I'd probably have to kill it. I'd probably have to kill the Aranese. Is my tea cold enough to drink yet? Ah! Oh, I can already tell. It's going to be a big old nope. Ah! tea's not cold enough to drink. Ah. Let's see here. I did say those right. Visuals, yeah, 15. I think you gotta kill the demon, because like demons are supposed to be really good at the nasty. So you don't want to ruin it for the rest of your life. I think I'd marry the Deva because it's a medium-sized creature, and I'd want something that's like the same size as me. And I could make Snoo Snoo with a Solar once. That'd be fine. That tea is too hot. Okay, so now we're going to get some orc blood just to kind of brighten things up a little bit. And we'll transition into a nice, more rich pink. So this should be a little bit brighter than our royal purple. Yep, it is. And one of our finals is going to be either Sturge Tan. Yeah, Sturge Tan. Or purple. Yeah. Screw you, Sturge Tan. Get out of here. Alright, so to transition, we're going to grab a little bit of our royal purple, mix in just a little bit of orc blood. Make sure to drop your brush at least twice. Otherwise you really won't get the bristles the way you need them. Alrighty. We're going to go through here and we're going to paint all but the most recessed details. Kill the Devo? Why? Oh my gosh. Why kill the Diva? The Deva? Deva? Diva? Dave? Kill Dave? That's fair. I respect that. I respect the hell out of that. As y'all can see, we're not being super precise about this. We're just kind of hitting the top of all of these little tentacles and working down. Just adding a little bit of, say it with me, contrast. Pretty sure in the diorama I'm about to use this guy on, you won't see the back of it, but just in case. Okay. I don't know, it's got some tentacles going. Never thought I'd say tentacles so much without giggling. Now for the little tubular thingies, we're gonna add something crazy. We're gonna go crazy, guys! We're gonna go crazy as soon as I finish shaking this paint. It separates very badly. Boom. Just adding a little bit of Underdark nonsense to it. I like that. The inside, I'm going to be filling with a water texture resin. So what we're going to do is we're just going to undercoat the inside red so it'll look like blood. So to do that, we're going to use, instead of a deep red, we're going to use a crushed sore. Uncomfortable. Lich, Medusa, Yontai. A Yontai abomination is the one with all the heads, right? Probably marry the Lich. Oh no, guys. It's time to wake up. Oh, I don't think I can reach it. I'm familiar with the race of Yontai. I thought the abomination was the one that had multiple heads. Okay, well then give me a sec. Medusa? I don't know. Snake with arms. I'd probably marry the Lich. Because I don't think I could ever deal with my spouse dying. So I'd probably just have to... See, my goal is to die before my wife. So I'd probably marry the Lich. I would probably... Snake sex sounds like fun. I might end up killing the Medusa. I think that's my answer. Yeah, snake sex, I mean... Girl, what'd that tail do? yes, it did go back to a generic. Yeah, don't worry. I got your back. What'd that tail do? I mean, like, if it has a rattle, do you think, like, if you're a snake, if you're a Medusa, if you're a Yontai, and, like, you're close, do you think, like, your tail rattles like a rattlesnake? Or do you think it actually works like a normal rattlesnake tail, where it rattles when, like, when you're, like, threatened or something? Or both. I mean, I don't know what this Yontai is into. Maybe both is what, like, it's threatened, but also, like, getting there. I wonder if, like, if the Yontai do, like, some girls and boys do the leg shaky thing when they are, trying to think of a not gross way to say that, when they are climaxing. When they're reaching the pinnacle of orgasmic pleasure. They, shake. I don't know if this one can go up on YouTube, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. Do snakes have a cloaca, or do they have, like, separate bits? Because that might change my answer. Google. In snakes and lizard, apparently the external genitals get a little funkier, is literally what Google says right there. I mean, okay, both of these genitals spring out of the same embryonic structure called the cloaca. I don't know if I want genitals springing out of who I'm mating with. Don't. Well, wait. Why snakes have two penises and alligators are always erect? They should talk to their doctor. I didn't know that alligators always had an erection. Actually, I'd heard that before, but That would explain why they're always like so aggressive. They're always just like so fucking ready. I did know that snakes had two pains. I didn't. Apparently, scientists didn't know why, but that article claims that they do know now. That they have an idea. Is this Drider ready yet? Oh, we're so close, guys. We're so close to the Drider. Alright, to finish up our little tentacles. Rodicat, do you have any thoughts on any good triumvirate? Oh, it's too much. Any good triumvirate of monsters for our marry, inject ourselves inside of, and kill? One of my friends has recently started dating again after being married for quite a long time. He and I always like to make him uncomfortable. So I'm like, hey, you penetrated any good girls lately? And the answer's always no. He's a 30-something-year-old dude, and he's struggling a little bit. Adjust to life on his own. But he always gets a good kick out of that. Alright, and that's how we're looking now, after just a little bit of a dry brush of Lucius Lilac. Alright, now for the stone, we're going to go with a dark stone, so... dark stone was already out because I was painting drow skin earlier. And then, thank you so very much, Queen Sassy Cat. I appreciate that. Gonna grab dark stone. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And we're just going to go ahead, we're going to paint this little bowl. Now, many of you may be asking, Ricky, this is our D&D live painting session. Painting up monsters from the monster manual. What you're painting isn't a monster. And the answer to that is going to be yes. You're right. Why? I forgot. I forgot this was our Dungeons and Dragons Friday Night Monster Manual. But as always, I promise you guys will get 2 monsters painted tonight. Here's your answer. I forgot. I thought it was my normal Tuesday stream for some reason. And I've just been painting this guy. The reason we're going to start with a dark stone is just to kind of add a good neutral layer, because we don't necessarily need this sticking out. What we really want to bring attention to is going to be the glistening pool of blood in the center, as well as the coils and tentacles. All of this stuff, all this stone in here is just there to serve as a background noise for these other bits and bobs. Got a little bit on the coil there, no big deal. We're gonna fix that in a sec. Worse things have happened to much better painters than me. Let's go ahead and do these little spiky boos in the dark stone as well. Just wanted to make sure I liked the idea of that first. And there we go. This is one of the first things I ever 3D printed. Merilith with all the arms? Harpy and Minotaur? We can't marry the Minotaur because it's just too horny. It's definitely going to cheat on you. And a Harpy's just going to nag you a lot. And do you guys have any idea how many household chores a Merilith can help me out with around the house with all of those arms? I think this answer is very obvious. I think you got to kill the Minotaur, bang a Harpy just to get her to shut up for a goddamn minute, and marry the Merilith. Plus again, snake sex. Done. Done. Yeah, chores thought too. Like, yeah, that's 100%. It's got to be it. I mean, like, Thanksgiving dinner, done. You're like, honey, can I help? And she's like, no, go away. And your mother hates me. I'm like, yeah, you're like an abyssal demon, so you know. And you keep summoning your sister to dinner. That's the other thing with dinner, with with demons. If you're ever like, if the three of you are like ever looking to spice things up, she can just summon her friends, and boom, done. You don't have to have an awkward conversation with like a close mutual friend of the two of you as a couple, and like maybe potentially ruin a friendship. That's always awkward. I've had that question. I've asked them before, and I'll be honest, I never spoke to either of them ever again because it was awkward. They were like, hey, we're looking to spice things up. Are you free this night? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm literally never free ever again, and please don't talk to me ever again. Please. I was so done. I was like, this is really uncomfortable. And they were like, we don't want this to be awkward. And then they asked like the most awkward thing you can ever imagine. Like, hey, you looking to get inside, one or both of us? And I was like, no, I'm not. God fucking damn it. No. Oh, God. You go like 6 years about not thinking about a thing, and then the thing comes back in your head. Gotta clean these makeup brushes, guys. Starting to get a little nasty. Okay. So now to add a little bit of pizzazz to our Tesseract Glow coils, we're going to add a little bit of Healing Green. Being careful not to get into the ridges and not to hit anything else around it too much. Boom, done. And to be clear, I wasn't against it because, like, of any moral stance. I was against it because, like, she was gross. Like, he was cute. Done. There. But she was gross. Didn't brush her teeth. Like, ever. Who is a fucking adult and doesn't brush their teeth? At all. Ever. Nasty. Thank you so very much. We're actually almost done here. Oh, that might need to dry a little bit more. Why is that flaking? We're just going to go out with some Tyrant Skull, kind of bring out some of these details on the skull base. And then do you know what we're going to call this one, everybody? We're going to call it Good Enough. As in good enough painting, as in, look how easy this was. If you're on your own and you're looking to do something, this was so easy. And I genuinely hope that you give it your best effort. There we go. Actually, I now know for a fact, actually I've been thinking about it, according to all of the sketches, this is all of the model you're ever going to be able to see. So there is our Drow Mind Flare Basin thingy. So yeah. Okay, now we're going to actually get to the model portion of tonight. So look for this in the next crafting video. I'm finishing up my script tonight, and I gotta do the reshoot of the intro tomorrow, and then hopefully Sunday you guys will have the next video up. And that is the I took some Magic the Gathering fat packs and some random garbage, and I put it together, and I made a wizard's laboratory, or like traveling study thingy. It was a lot of fun. Excuse me as I numb up my mouth. Ow. Ow. Who would marry a harpy? Haha, your dad, cause your mom's a bit. No, sorry. That's terrible. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect Earl Grey tea. Oh my goodness. I used to think Earl Grey tea was just like a fad, or only like a really good healing item in Castlevania. But it's actually really good. Yeah, new video going up Sunday morning, so long as I am able to export. Script is written, and I gotta record the script tomorrow. Hi. Ooh, we're gonna take the evening ADHD medication here real quick, because we got another 3 hours of painting to do, guys. Well, I have another about 2 hours with y'all, and then I have some other stuff I gotta work on. So We're definitely going to take the good old ADHD stuff. The Adderall booster. I was wondering why I was having so much fun and I was so awesome. Let's see, I really hope this Drider is good enough, because the deal that I always make with you guys is I will do, no matter what, I will get 2 of these size models done, or I will get something small and 1 of these size models done, or I will try and get a big model done. So I think, are you good enough to paint? Oh, she's good enough to paint. It's so exciting. We'll try it. I'm gonna look up some art of Driders, because just black on black on black is just seems a little boring. Oh, snake. Why do snakes have 2 penises? That's right. That's the last thing I googled. Safe search was not on, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna search Drider art. Point pie. Don't want you guys to see me sending all these porn links out. Pornography. Point pie. Let's go ahead and we're gonna look at some Drider art. No, that's not even a Drider. That. Come on, guys. I can make it whatever colors I want. That's why I like to look up art first, and I like to, rather than looking up like official other things being painted by people, I love to look at stuff to get good ideas for the model I'm painting. So that's why I don't like go to the official Dungeons and Dragons page, or like always look at that. Like, oh, blue legs. That doesn't look like a Drider though. It looks more like a Space Lakia Drider. That's weird. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Do you guys see that? With the armor and stuff? That's pretty sick. Okay. So we're going to go with some grays. And we're going to throw a couple of browns in there. And I'm going to make some chicken tenders here in a minute. I don't have any banana to eat. I like to always eat a banana on stream for you guys. Not in a weird way. Not in a weird way. But I don't have any bananas today. Damn it. It scared the hell out of me, even though it's like literally just like a little inkwell thingy. That's fine. I'm an adult. So we're going to grab some of our clear paints. Like, gotta drive home? Where are you at? Be safe driving home. Make sure to drink and drive and do drugs before you drive, because you can't do them while you drive. You want one hand on the wheel at all times. Veronica's? I thought you guys all lived together. I'm gonna be honest. Wait. You did that? Why? Just you guys just saw me take a bunch of amphetamines. My buddies are always like, hey, you want to smoke some weed with us? And I'm like, fuck that. Do you have cocaine? Why would you want a drug that slows you down? You gotta go fast. I'm like Ricky Bobby. No, don't everyone call me that. I hate Ricky Bobby. Stylish purple for shadows. I'm digging that. For our dark browns, we're actually not gonna do stylish purple. We're gonna use some wildwood. And let's go ahead and throw in a little bit of Black Templar. Okay. The only drug harder is speed. I gotta try that speed then. Queen Sassy Cat, go drive home. When you come back, we'll be pretty far into your drider. Hopefully, it doesn't take you too long to get home. You get home safe. And now, if you don't get home safe, we'll know because you won't have popped into chat. Also, thanks everybody to my Prime subscribers. We have Tyler Tenders, Anasaurus, Pie Master, and C-Vamp. You guys are part of the reason that makes this possible. Just the couple of bucks from your Prime subs paid for one of these models tonight. And just a reminder, if you have Amazon Prime, every single month you do get one free Twitch subscription that you can give to somebody. It's a couple of bucks in my pocket, helps to fund the exorbitant cost of buying all of these models. And not exorbitant. The D&D's ones aren't so bad, but every little bit counts. Thank you so very much. And if you are a Prime sub member, remember that every month you have to say who you're giving your Prime sub to. So if you are one of my Prime subs, come back next month. Anyway, thank you all very much. I forgot to do my shout out at the beginning there, but I always want to shout out my subs because you guys are the only money that I actually make on this. So thank you so much. This is in no way, shape, or form ever going to be anything I do for money, but every little bit is just a little bit more I get to put into the channel. So thank you all so much. We're about to get a pre-roll ad, so I'm going to try and roll an ad for myself. And you guys, I'll see in about 90 seconds. Welcome back, everybody that left. I don't know how that works. Also, for those of you that are followers, don't forget you are accruing channel points. With those points, you can do things, and with those things are you can spend 1,000 points to name whatever model we're painting for the night. For 2,000 points, you can make me paint with my left hand for a while, unless it's a commission for somebody else, in which case I will put a pin in it and I'll get to it on the next personal project. For 10,000 points, you can make me shut up for 5 minutes. For 20,000 points, you can just choose the next model that we do. If it's one we haven't done yet, awesome. If it's one we've already done, I will let you know, and if you still want to see it painted again, we will do that. And for 1,000,000 points, I just ship one of these models to you. Done. Dusted. And for 1,000,000 points, you can also buy my wife a pizza party. And that is, in case you're curious, she's just going to come, join me, sit right here, and eat a pizza while we do our normal live stream. Maybe she'll talk. She hasn't said whether or not she'll actually interact with the stream at all. She goes back and forth between saying that, yeah, she'll talk, and saying she's just going to sit there and stare straight ahead, off into that direction and eat a pizza. I asked her, I was like, you mean like a personal pizza? And she was like, every pizza is personal pizza. I said, okay. That's fair. Done. So with that stuff out of the way, this is an empty can of flavored water. We're gonna throw that over there. Nice. 3 points. We got our dark colors here. We're gonna grab some contrast medium, and we're gonna start mixing some stuff up. And we're gonna start to wet blend some stuff on the model here. So we're gonna grab some Griff Charger Gray. We're gonna put it in an inkwell here. Now we're gonna add a little bit of contrast. This is the wrong medium. This is the lanthanum medium. We need some contrast medium. We're gonna grab some contrast medium here. Just to thin down that paint just a little bit. Perfect, 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 perfect. I like the Griff Charger Gray. It enables you to add like a little bit of highlight to things that would otherwise be just super dark. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use some Black Templar as the polarizing opposite of our Griff Charger Gray. So this time we're gonna be smart. We're gonna start with a contrast medium. Go ahead and do 3 of those. These they don't have to clean off a brush in between. And there's our darker color. Just some Black Templar. And these are contrast paints. I've kind of gotten out of the habit of talking about what paints we're using and why. So what we're doing is we're going to be using these contrast paints in order to take advantage of the undercoat that we have applied to our model. The undercoat that we applied to our model is going to allow transparent paints to show the white and the dark underneath, making them lighter and darker. Oh, well, tell you what, Miss Veronica, if you want to check out my YouTube channel, all live streams are posted up there. I'm actually going to be going through after tonight's painting session, and we're going to be renaming a lot of them because for some reason my encoder for restream that I use to simultaneously stream to YouTube and Twitch has been just naming everything Tuesday night painting session. So we're going to go back, we're going to rename a bunch of stuff. But if you want to check out anything, especially like tonight's stream, they're all there on that channel. So you can go there, you can check them out, see all our past work, check out the bi-monthly, I need to stop saying monthly, the bi-monthly crafting videos there. And you can see how this model turned out tonight. But thank you so very much for every moment of your time that you spent here with us. I genuinely appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you on future live streams. And again, thank you very much for the follow. So what I like to do with this, guys, is I'm just not going to clean off my brush in between. I am going from the darker tone, starting here in the bottom sections, and then using the lighter tone from the top sections, and then just kind of muddying up the middle sections. What this does, this is going to add a really good base foundation for us to add some really good highlights to here in a bit. And this Zenithal Prime is not only going to help us, if you're like me and you're a little bit artistically challenged, and you struggle to see where the highlights and shadows would be given a light source, it is also going to show you where those light sources will be. But it's also, what's really cool is with the clear paints, it's actually going to help to enhance them. So using the Griff Charger Gray again, paint in the top section, and then the Black Templar we paint in the bottom section, and then we just kind of feather it in between the two. And we're just going to keep going back and forth. We're going to do that for all these legs. And then boom. And that way we go from a just black and white model to something that looks almost like it's a living, breathing thing. You have to be a little bit quick with this. You don't want the paint to dry in between your wet blends. So after this leg, I'm going to take a break, check out that chat. Again, anyone interested in painting a model like this, I guess I never really talk about prices and stuff on stream. This would be about $10. If you're interested in getting models about this size, about $10 for the painting itself, and then the model as well. I think this model is $9. So if you or a loved one like D&D and you want models like this, I love painting. And good enough painting is about getting models into everybody's hands painted to the way that they like them. It's kind of why I stopped doing the ultra super amazing hundreds of hours on a single model painting, because I didn't care to do it anymore. I wanted to help other people get their own stuff painted up. And I was like, well, if I'm just doing this as a side gig, I don't need to charge a lot. And here we are, a couple years later, we're doing good enough painting. Aha! Almost went to the entirely wrong cup. Hey, thank you very much for the follow on the YouTubes later. I appreciate it. And have a great night. I will see you Monday, if you work on Monday. Everybody, the issue with the contrast paints is the sheen that you kind of get, but we will, once it dries, we'll get a better look at what we're looking at. But here you can see the difference between just the black and white legs and then the ones that we have now done. Very spooky-ish. And the Griff Charger Gray adds a little bit of variety in there too. And yes, the paint is pulling up a little bit in some of these spots. We'll try and fix that as much as we can. But if we really need to, really bothers us here in a minute, we'll go ahead and we'll fix that with a flat coat later. I guess I should tell you, I mentioned the price. To get a hold of me, check me out on YouTube, Discord, or you can send me an email at goodenoughpainting.com@gmail.com. Just let me know what you're looking to get, painted, and I will make it work for you. Now for underneath, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use some wildwood. It's a really, really dark brown. There's a reason that we're going to use a dark brown. You'll see that in a bit. We're going to add a little bit of a dry brush to this here in a bit, so I want to get this down early. Alrighty, so we got our contrast portions done. That's what we look like. You can't really see the underside right now, but that's just because it's very glistening. At this time, we are going to we are about 2 hours into the stream. I'm gonna take a short break. I'm gonna heat up something to eat here, and I'll tell you guys all what. I'll be back in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna pop over to my stream starting in blank minutes, so you guys get a little countdown there. And you folks have a great. If you're leaving now, have a great rest of your night. If you're sticking around, I'll see you in a few. Hey guys, so while I was on my break here, I've been looking at my YouTube content, and yeah, all of my live streams have said Tuesday night painting live stream for a while. I will figure out why this is and try and get it fixed. Cannot figure out why. It's probably having something to do with what stream code I'm using. So I might just change up the name of the stream. That is all, citizens. Nice. Perfect timing. Let's go! So today when I was out and about, I went to a local gaming store, like I mentioned earlier, to get some models and get an enamel pin, and I bought too many models, but I was really, really fucking thirsty. I thought to myself, okay, when I'm at the store, I will pick up something to drink. This store doesn't do any in-house gaming, it's just a pick stuff up there store, which, honestly, really great. It was, at first when I heard that, I thought to myself, oh, well, a gaming store that doesn't have anywhere for people to game inside. Everything that they haven't dedicated to having like a dedicated gaming area has been turning it into a very nice, clean establishment, and it's absolutely a well-polished and oiled machine. I love it. Yada Quest, local here in Ohio, go check it out. But they didn't have anything to drink, so I stopped by the gas station and I got these bottled waters, and this is essential water, Essentia water. The only time I ever get bottled waters is when I used to drive a lot for Uber and it was in the middle of the night. I didn't have water with me, or like situations like I was in today. And every time I do, like, this water tasted So good. And this is just normal tap water in here now. But I feel so bad. I'll never just buy bottled water like on the regular because like it's just terrible, terrible thing to do. But it tasted so good. I want water this good in my tap, or like a filter or something would be cool. So yeah, I had some good water today. Okay. So moving on. Let's go ahead and work on this leather area next. We're going to start off this leather area with a nice dark rigid leather, or an oak brown. Let's go with an oak brown. That's not the oak brown I wanted. Well, this is oak brown, and it's my only oak brown, but that's not the color I wanted. Right? Yeah, it is. Just looked a little bit too bright for a second. Have a good night. I didn't catch that until just now. I'm sorry, everybody. That was pretty good. Did I get any channel reward requests? Nope. Good deal. So we're going to go for a slightly smaller brush. We're going to go ahead. We're going to thin down this paint with just a little bit of water. We are on a wet palette. My wet palette's a little bit dry right now, so let's actually fix that. I always forget to fix that. To do that, I like to just pick this up a little bit. Little sponge, and that's it. That's probably a little bit too much water, but that's fine. And we're going to go ahead, we're just going to grab a little bit of this oak brown. And with this, we're just going to add a nice base coat down here on all of this leather armor. Oh, that's chitinous hide, my bad. And if we overpaint a little bit, not the end of the world because we haven't done anything around it. No big deal. This is going to lay a nice solid foundation for the rest of the Drider stuff. Oh, next week, I was planning on doing the Beholder a lot later in the series, but the same person, Miss Sassy Cat, that bought this Drider from me is also buying a Beholder. So you guys will get to see that next week too. I just didn't have the model on hand. So come check that out. And while I was away, I went over to a Discord and I got a question about my prices. Or I went to Discord and I had a question about my prices. About why it's so cheap. If I didn't think that maybe, you know, and I've gotten this question before. I've actually gotten this question from loved ones too. Like, they see me paint things here on stream and they're like, hey, you can paint things a lot better. We've seen you do it, like a lot better. And my thought was, yeah, I'd rather do this and share this with the community rather than the dozens and dozens of hours of me making a model absolutely perfect in my own eyes. Because I did that for a couple, when I first started doing miniature painting, I tried to make everything better, like 100% better than the way it was before. So that like if I was doing a squad of 10 guys, by the time the last guy was done, he was like loads better than the first guy. And I think there's something to do. I think everyone should do that. I think everyone should push themselves and find like Because you can always get better at something, but find that good soft cap for a skill or an art or something. But for something like this, I wanted to focus on approachability. That's why I don't offer anything really higher than the I think I actually have 2 painting standards, but I think I might just get rid of the other one because I only ever do the higher one, even when people pay for the lower one. Oh no, that's right, I leave the lower one there in case people want to spend a little bit less. Yes, but I pretty much only ever paint stuff to the same what you usually see here on streams. Maybe a little bit higher standard. I just don't. What was I saying? I forget what I was saying. So we're gonna move on. Oh yeah. I wanted to show how easy it was to get pretty good results with just some really simple basic techniques, because so many people talk about painting models being so unapproachable, and it breaks my heart a little bit. They oftentimes start off in communities like Warhammer or wargaming communities, where people will spend dozens, if not hundreds of hours perfecting a paint scheme and applying it across a whole army and stuff, and oof. You're starting a hobby like this, it's kind of like the worst place to look is wargaming communities, because they are so good at what they do and they put so much pride and effort. But for something like D&D, you might only ever need a model once. Like a Drider. How often do you need a Drider in a D&D campaign? A couple times maybe? Or maybe it's like your favorite creature. So it doesn't need a shit ton of time and effort. I think I try and get all of our small guys done in about 1 to 2 hours. When I do a commission job, people about yay big, I usually expect about 90 minutes, maybe somewhere between 90 minutes, and then maybe an extra 30 to 45 for the base. So we're looking at about 2 hours. So when I'm looking at a project, I usually assume about 2 hours a model. And for guys like that, I charge about like $3 to $5 for, $2 to $5 for. So this is never going to be a career change for me. But I just wanted to share this. Okay. Looking good. Looking good. Let's go ahead and touch that up, that dark. I don't have the right colors in my palette. Where is my acrylic white? Well, all of my whites are acrylic white, but this one is an artist thick body acrylic. We're just gonna get a little bit of that here in our palette. And what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna take this thick, very, very pure white acrylic, and we're going to, yes, I still need to touch that up. What we're going to do is we're going to add some highlights here to these raised sections to kind of increase our zenithal highlight a little bit. Just like so. So kind of just where the zenithal highlight would have hit the hardest. We're just going to go in and we're just dabbing a little bit more just to kind of enhance it just a little bit. same on these upper sections as well. Because even where we hit with white primer, there are going to be areas that get a little bit. So we want our brights to still be brighter, even on the areas that are brighter in comparison to the rest of the model. Get a little bit of water in there. Perfect. So everybody, tomorrow, probably around 10 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be streaming my first ever games on Twitch, so come hang out. We're going to be streaming some Skyrim, doing a bunch of mods that we're going to play a paladin. So I basically wanted to do everything I've never done before in that game, which is things like a super heavy armor build with maces instead of swords. And then I found some cool mods that have to do with like Forgotten Magic is one of the mods. Forgotten Magic is basically spells get more powerful the more you use them. Combining that with the with a deity system. We're going to try out a couple of deities. So we're not doing like a roleplay build. We're just doing something a little bit different. Oh no, guys, my Google survey is about to expire. I have to give them information about myself. This one's actually making me watch an ad. Sorry, everybody. You're going to sit here through my Google survey rewards ad. I saw this one pop up earlier. Yes, does anyone else get these? You get these little opinion rewards, and you actually get Google Play credit. And you can use it to buy things like in-app purchases for games. All of that. It's really cool stuff. I think over the years, my wife and I have probably gotten a couple $100 from these. They very rarely actually make you watch an ad like this, but I told them I was interested in the next year or so getting a new car. But I don't think they realize that I don't care about this car at all. That seat sliding thing is pretty neat. 48 inches across. We've all heard that before, right, ladies? 48 inches. You stand over there, and I'll stand over here. Okay. He's doing donuts. Now he's driving across a bunch of rocks. Like a soccer mom-esque car. What is this? The Nissan Easy something? Holy shit. I've never had to do this. This actually might... Oh, it played correctly. I think it's here in authentic. And we're going to say boring, and I didn't care. Dang, that one was $1. See, right now I have $1.32. I usually end up spending it as soon as I can in like Marvel Contest of Champions or something. Okay. So back to edge highlighting some of these scale thingies. because I don't want this just to become an amalgamous blur. I'm definitely going to add in a lot of these. And Queen Sassy Cat, when you come back, we need to talk about colors for this big giant chitness area. And yes, depending on the colors that we choose, these white marks might show up, but we'll be able to blend them away with just a couple of coats of whatever contrast or translucent paint we use. Or if we end up not using a translucent paint, they will just be there to add a little bit of depth. For that little area, we're just going to add a little bit of dark stone gray in here. And we're just going to cover that up a little bit like so. And yeah, it's brighter, but that's actually perfect because this is the front of the model. We want it to be a little bit brighter. Guys, stick tuned. In the next couple weeks or so, we're going to have a couple of colossal dragons to paint. I'm very excited. It's going to be the first colossal dragons I've ever painted. It's going to be the couple of the biggest models I've ever painted. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And if you're interested, I'm still leaving the voting open right now for the next Colossal Dragon down there below in Twitch. So let me know what you want to see. Yeah, so the highlights on the tip of the scales, we are just prepping out for whatever color we want to do it in. So this is, again, this is just enhancing our undercoat. I haven't decided what color we're actually going to paint it yet. So this is just purely for aesthetic. This is just prepping out for, that's too light. So we paint it with a translucent paint. We will be able to see the edges a little bit more clearly. So it's a lot of work. If you're a person that likes to use like the Citadel contrast paint line, I would highly recommend doing it. Oh yeah, so that's the reason it has so much contrast is because we're using our cheat code, which is thick body artist white. It is hella white. It is way whiter than even my most white miniature paint. Like you can barely even see the box. Like it's good. I like using that stuff. I would never use artist paint for any other part of model painting, but I will use it for this in particular. Because normally you just can't get the consistency right when you start to. When you add enough thinner, your paint doesn't end up, the pigment in the paint doesn't end up binding. But for something like this, we can get away with it. I'm going to paint the top of the hair with a very thin version of this as well. Little thin. So that's what I'm talking about. Like we struggle to keep it at the right consistency for painting miniatures. It's kind of like working with oil paints. Alrighty, we're gonna text Queen Sassy Cat. Make sure. Don't know how far she is from Veronica's house, just because we're gonna see if they have a preference on the color here. But while we wait for a response from Queen Sassy Cat, either via text message or on our for her to pop back in here into stream, we're gonna go ahead And we're going to give our rogue here, our drow people, we're going to give them a very similar treatment. Just kind of hitting those extreme highlights. So I'm not going to do the skin because it's drow skin, so I don't really want it to be too white. And actually, our zenithal coat might not be strong enough for... Up here we're good. It's a little bit less important on smaller scale models like this. We'll add just a little bit in. And this model doesn't really have sharp edges the same way that the other one did. So actually, I don't think we're going to need to really enhance our zenithal on this. We'll do it a little bit here on the scabbard. Right near the tip there. The rest of this though, and these are also, so this is an Underdark model, so less likely to be relevant here. Yeah, okay. So drow. What color is a Pawafwi, guys? Is it always... Just trying to think Forgotten Realms. Oh, okay, caught that. Nice. I'm awesome. A Pawafwi. Drow. Pawafwi cloak, okay. Okay. Dark hued cloak, okay. Just kind of dark. Let me just make sure. For the most part, I kind of do just whatever feels good or whatever I kind of feel like it, but sometimes I get inspired to, especially when it comes to like drow things, given that how much of a Drist fanboy I am. I like being a little bit closer to canon. Just because I love all this stuff so much. Alright, so just kind of like a grayish cloak. It's so funny seeing the evolution of the drow over the last couple of decades. If you look at drow from like current day, they're very stylized. But if you look at them from like 10 or 15 years ago, they had the crazy hair. The straight up manes. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start with the cloak. We're going to keep it dark gray. So basically what we're hilariously what we're going to do is we're just going to take this zenithal highlight. We're just going to tone it down a little bit with probably just a coat of Basilicalum Gray, and then we might go in a little bit and do some enhancements to our highlights and shadows. But for the most part, it's just a dark cloak. So yeah, we'll start with this as just kind of like a unifying tone down. Probably a couple layers of this. Yeah. It's really pulling up bad on me. Oh, there's too much water on my brush, that's why. Thinned it down a little bit too much there. So we'll do the Puafi like this. And we'll do her other cloak in like a dark purple. So there's our first coat of the Basilicalum Gray. We're not letting it pool up too much because we want to add a couple of coats, but this is just allowing us to tone down the zenithal primer that we added. Or you can see, hopefully you guys can see a little bit of the difference there. Just bring it down a little bit. And then for the bottom cloak, we're gonna go ahead. I really want a dark ass purple, so we're gonna go with hexed lichen, and we're gonna throw a little bit of somber gray in there. So this is kind of a bluish gray, oftentimes used for stone. And this is just hexed lichen. Very, very dark purple. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mix these up here. And we don't need this little inkwell anymore. There we go. Very happy with that. Looks like black widowish with a shock of bright hair. Not picky on exact colors. Got it. So we'll probably go with a very dark body. Oh, she wants me to freehand a skull in the body. Uh-oh, guys. We got freehand work coming up. We'll say this. I don't normally do freehands, but Sassy Cat is a friend, so I'm going to give it a whirl. I definitely don't normally do freehands at all. Never happy with the way they look. We'll give it a whirl. See if we got it good. There's no really good spot to put a freehand. Maybe like across these. Yeah, this is I normally don't do freehands, but adding a skull to the back of this might be possible. See, if this was a bigger job, I would buy a airbrush stencil and I would slap it on here and mask it in there and then work on it. See here with it all rigidy like that. We'll see. We'll try it. I'll try and sketch one in with a paintbrush, and if it looks good, it looks good, and if it doesn't, we will we'll move on. All right, but for now, we're gonna finish up this drow. Get some base coats on her. And you guys will probably see these two drow figures come back next week, next Friday. Ow. Okay, so now we need a dark. Oh, I have the perfect metallic for this. It came in one of these starter kits. It's called like, yeah. It is Duergar. You can ignore the 1 AM random thought of a skull. I really appreciate that. I didn't want to say no, and I'm willing to give it a try. But for one, I usually don't do freehands, and two, this would be like the worst place to start. But tell you what, we'll think of something cool. We'll do like a cool gradient or something. From like a deep navy up to a black. So, Duergar metal. And we're actually going to apply this to a couple of models here. We're going to apply this here on her little armor platies here. And it's a very almost purplish metal, I think is the best way to describe it. Like a deep purple. So we lost Veronica, Miss Cat, but I'll tell you the same thing I told her. If you have to log off for whatever reason, because I usually do these streams for about 3 to 4 hours, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. They are always live. You can always watch them the next day on YouTube. If you or any of your friends need any other models painted, you let me know. I need to start talking about how much I would charge for paints. You hadn't noticed the tons of scale plates? Yeah, I mean, like, on a different set or a different model, I'd be willing to give it a whirl. But for this one, I'd want to get some kind of stencil and airbrush it on, and I just don't have a liquid or a good tape mask that I would probably end up just taping it on, like with this cut in half and stuff. I'd need to airbrush it on there, and that would take a lot of time masking, and I wouldn't subject the stream to me swearing at masking tape for like a half hour. But so we're gonna add this same Duergar metal here onto these arm guards here, keeping our paint nice and thin so you can still see a little bit of our extreme white highlights through it. As much as people say zenithal highlighting is only for those that use like an airbrush and stuff, it doesn't have to be. You just keep your paint thin, you work with it, and even if you can't use it to simulate light, It helps you know where it is. We are actually going to pull out the airbrush for the last little bit of this here. Of the drider, at least. I think for the body, we're going to use the airbrush. And some acrylic inks. And then I'll let that dry overnight, and I might do some touch-ups to those areas afterwards, but... Sturger metal is just so pretty. I have to find a good highlight, an edge highlight color for it. Because it doesn't like... It's definitely not purple, it's definitely not... Oh, I guess just a normal metallic would work. There we go, we got our legs done. We're gonna have to do the bottom here still. Let's go ahead and let's pull out the airbrush before I lose all momentum. Yes, I appreciate that. Good Enough Painting is right now open for jobs. We don't have anything going on right now besides these couple of things that are coming in the mail. So yeah. Unfortunately, the gentleman that I was going to from the military that lost his models overseas, he has not actually returned any of my messages about what models he wanted me to buy for him. Because I know that you guys know that we do a lot of like, not pro bono, but like we like to give back to communities and stuff. So I wanted to buy some of his commission. He approached me about it, and I asked him, you know, why he was going with a commission painting service, and apparently he had painted his army while he was deployed, or at least a large section of it. And when he was on, and for whatever reason, it ended up getting left or lost in the mail or something, and didn't come home with him. And I wanted to help him offset the cost of that. Told him I had some money left over from other jobs. I'd be willing to kick a couple $100 into refunding his army, and he said he'd get back to me. He didn't, so I reached out to him. He just hasn't gotten back to me. So unfortunately, you guys won't get to see that big old Necron army yet. Hopefully he does. Otherwise, yeah. Okay. Alright, we're gonna get some of these paints put away. Actually, no, we're just gonna kind of shove everything to the edges of my desk work area here. I don't have to be super neat because I'm not recording my current YouTube video now. I'm still doing some stuff like painting the figures and stuff for the YouTube video, and sketches and designs and stuff. So we're not in the recording place where we need to make sure everything's at least semi-neat. So what the idea of what we're going to be doing is, just to give you guys a heads up. Normally I don't like to tell people what I'm about to do before I do it, so that if I do something different, they don't get mad. We're going to go from a dark black, and we're going to add in some dark blue, and we're going to kind of fade up from black to blue. Using some India ink, as well as some black Templar. And Talisar blue. I don't like to use black acrylic ink for this part because it just doesn't... Black ink is so dark. I don't like to use it for this. So we got that. And now we need to find some pipettes. Da 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 da. So we have just a couple of these little pipettes here. And then just an underdark base is what I'm going to go with on this model, I think. Some stone, things like that. See if I have any bits and bobs that work. Oh yes, Sassy Cat. You might not have seen this. If you go to my Twitch page, down there at the bottom is a vote where you can vote for the next Colossal Dragon. Right now, the first two are going to be blue, which is, I'm still waiting for confirmation on its being printed. Went to Etsy and I got a big one, big, awesome, colossal blue dragon. And then Shadow requested for a red colossal dragon. So those two are going to be first, but you can vote on the next one. We're going to lower our PSI just a little bit. Because we aren't throwing primer anymore. We're throwing some just acrylic paints. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to start with our lightest blue. And if it gets on other parts of the model, no big deal. We can easily, very easily touch those up. Let's go ahead and add some airbrush thinner here as well. Actually, no, we don't need thinner for these. I always end up over thinning things. So we're just going to go ahead and go at it raw dog style. Let's add a couple of drops in here. Jeez. Well, maybe a little bit more than that. Hopefully I have good angles on all of this too. So what I like to do when I'm doing a color gradient, so I'm definitely going to start with the whole thing here. Even though this dark section is going to be painted a darker color, I want to make sure to get it all. And then this up here in the front too. And there's our blue in there. Okay. Alright. So now we still have a little bit of the blue in there. We're going to add this India ink, should be darker. I haven't swatched it yet, so let me do that real quick actually. Yeah, that's gonna be much darker. This is a much darker acrylic ink. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna translation into this a little bit. So we're just gonna add a couple drops of this. And this is a very dark ink. Yes, it is a very pretty ice blue. I guess, yeah, I'll give you guys a look-see here. Oh, let me get to the live feed so I can actually see if we're in focus or not. I hate waiting for like the 3-second Twitch delay. Yeah, so there's what we're looking at right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to add, because it's very, very blue right now, we're just going to go ahead and add some darker colors. And so like you can see here, we've gotten a little bit on the legs. No big deal, because when we come in with the darker colors along the sides, it's going to tone that down a lot and you won't notice it unless you're looking for it. All right, so here's our darker blue. And now we're going to start adding our black. We are actually going to use black ink just because I really want this to go dark. So I want the blue in this paint to almost be an afterthought. So right now it's a lot bluer than I wanted it to be. There we go. That's more like it. There we go. And then we're going to dump this out. We're going to go in with, again, a dark blue. So I'm getting a little bit of sputtering from my airbrush, so I might go in with a paintbrush here. Just add some contrast paint into there by hand. And I think she wanted it very, very dark with this splash of like pink hair or something, which I'm kind of digging. I do like that ice blue, so that's something to look forward to when we get that colossal blue dragon in. That's very close to where I'm going to leave the actual skin tone is going to be that initial color. We're going to add highlights into there. Okay. Dump that out. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm only starting to get a little bit of sputtering there at the end of the airbrush. And that was because I was trying to do something probably a little bit more precise. Probably should have gotten a different airbrush out. This is the Badger. It's got a very, very large needle head. So I try and use it for too many detailed things. And that's going to be a little bit too wet to hit with a normal paint. But that's what we're looking at now. I actually kind of like the bluish legs. Get that. It definitely adds something more to the model there. Some variation of color. I like that. And Queen Sassy Cat, if you don't like that, don't worry about it. We'll go ahead and we'll bring them back to their nice neutral grays. It won't take but 5 or 10 minutes. Digging this song. Oh, I have a message on the Discord thingy-mabobber. No, I don't. I have an announcement. Tabletop Titans is going live on the 21st, 12 p.m. Pacific. That's exciting. Oh, you do like that? Man, I signed up for pink hair. Uh-oh. You said bright hair. Oh, you meant like a bright-ass white. Shock of bright hair. Pink hair would be pretty cool on a drow. I just saw bright and I immediately thought pink. Or don't drow usually have white hair. We'll do pink though. Whichever you would prefer. Do I even have a good pink? I got good pinks. I don't think super bright, but we can add some white to something. So I won't be able to finish the back spider section, since we have used acrylic inks, that needs about 15 hours to dry in my experience. But we will continue on with the rest of the model here. Put those away. Leave my airbrush out. I'm going to need that here for a bit. I don't want that acrylic ink to dry on my skin here. Okay. Ugh, nasty, dirty ass glove. I think you're finally done. But we're gonna keep you anyway. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. Let's go ahead and do the body next. And let's keep that body also. We're gonna keep that nice and dark. We're gonna go with some Pterodon turquoise or Leviathan blue. Did I get Leviathan blue? I meant to pick it up. I did not. So we're gonna go with Pterodon turquoise. And we're gonna blend it in with a little bit of Talisar blue. So, well, thank you. I appreciate your trust. It is not misplaced. I will do my best, as always. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get a nice bigger brush here. Let's get a new paper towel. And I will keep this one over here for when I do things that are messy, as opposed to just a little bit messy. Okay, so Pterodon turquoise. A little bit too much there. No big deal. Just spread it around. Into some Talisar blue. We're just going to blend it all in. It's a little too blue. I like the Pterodon turquoise part, but we'll fix it here in a sec. Let's finish this up. So unfortunately, contrast paints aren't like acrylic paints. We can't just immediately be like, whatever, and then just kind of move on. We're going to finish up this coat, and then once it dries, we'll be able to start a new coat of something. Otherwise, so we're gonna cut out the Talisar blue and the rest of this here. We're gonna go ahead and finish up just with a Pterodon turquoise, and I want this darker. So we're going to add a basilicalum. No, we're going to add a black Templar over top of this. Because the Talisar is a little bright. Ooh. Bright ass blue hair to match the body might actually be really cool. I think we're going to do that. Because drow often dye their hair. Or at least not often. Those of Breaking the Earth oftentimes do. They want to look ostentatious, like Jarlaxle. Sorry. Before he was bald, he would often have crazy hairstyles. Actually, one of the newest Dris Duerden R.A. Salvatore books that cover mostly Jarlaxle, and Zachnafane. They cover how Jarlaxle got his bald look. Okay, so there's the Pterodon turquoise. A little bright, again, no big deal. We're going to hit it with some black Templar. We're going to bring it back down just a little bit because we want the hair to be the bright-ass blue. And this isn't even the brightest of the blue. We're going to use a color called literally electric blue. For the highlights, so this right here is going to be the darkest color. Now we're starting to be a little bit careful with our brush, where it lands, where it falls. But if we paint something wrong, no big deal. As with everything, it's just temporary, it's just paint. We can fix it. There we go. Yeah, this is the darkest areas of the hair that we're touching right now. Okay, so this is what we're looking at now. We're gonna darken up that scale, chainmail, whatever, the chitinous armor on the chest. Because my debate is it armor or is it like or is that skin? Because if it's armor, I'd like to keep it this color and then add a dry brush onto it. But if it's flesh, I definitely want it darker. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, time to do the drow flesh next. I'm gonna do the face here. Definitely not a player character. So I would guess that it's armor too. Looking at it now, it wouldn't make sense for them to wear armor around their midriff if it's not armor. So what we're gonna do is we are still gonna darken it up a little bit, but we're gonna do it differently. We're not just gonna try and make it blackish. We're gonna go ahead, we'll add a wash to it, and then we'll add a dry brush to it. For the face, let's go ahead and get a more detailed brush out. Yeah, we're gonna use a golden maple size 1. Let's go ahead and get to work on this face. Let's use Necromancer Cloak for our initial base coat here. And here is where we practice all of our brush control. A little bit too damp, no big deal. Go in, and we're just gonna put on some makeup. Go for a little bit of lighter stuff here. Right here. Along this little brow ridge line. The side of the head here. Brighter here. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit of this over here, a little bit of that. We're gonna kind of make a nice intermediary color. So just like we do with anything that has normal flesh tones, we're just gonna make a couple of variations of our color. You're Necromancer and 100% into it. Necromancer Cloak is this shade of dark gray. It's one of my favorites. It's got some blue in it, but not like in a obnoxious kind of way. And there we go. And then here's our mid-tone. Keep our brush nice and moist, but without being wet. We don't want it to be wet. So then we get some running on our paint. I'm just gonna go in there and add some highlights on the top of the nose, above the lip, and our brow line. Down there to the edge of the chin. Try to figure out a background, personality, etc. Oh, do you know who I miss, Shadow? That one gentleman that had me rolling dice and basically RPing with him. He hasn't been around for a couple of weeks. I miss him. He had the Jack the Ripper character. Anyway, sorry. I'm trying to figure out background, personality, etc. for an artificer character, but I may not have the brain power for it. Do you have the character in mind and you're trying to make stuff, or are you just trying to play an artificer? Because the Warforged models by WizKids are awesome. Like, bear with. Never mind. I didn't actually buy those yet. I want to. Because I just love artificer characters in general. I mean, artificers are usually just experimenters, right? Scientists that go out into the world to find a little bit of adventure. They've been shunned from their community colleges. They've been told that their science isn't applicable, and they're like, fuck you, I'll show you how applicable it is. They go out to find uses for their things. There we go. Go ahead and just kind of circle the eyes there. Like so. Sir or ma'am? A Untitled Chapter. Ooh. That's a tough one. Ah, man, this is why you should just wear a mask when you airbrush. Especially as much as I've been doing tonight. A bunch of particles on my nose. I think I might need to up the... Oh, no, I had it backwards in my head. I was going to say noise suppression on my headphones, but no. Yuntai. That's tough. Because outside of, like, poisons and stuff, I can't imagine anything really fun. Maybe they were kept by a... artificer as a science experiment, and they picked up tricks, and then eventually they killed the guy, and then they left. So it even leaves you open to be like a more neutral-esque character, because she doesn't trust people. Well, we think we're going to put some paints away. Oh, that's dark. Can you love it? Good, good. I'm glad. That's a good, glad I could help there. What's next? We gotta do the pinks. We gotta do the base. Which means about time for you to come off this hot glue. Actually, for now, pretty much everything needs to dry until tomorrow, and then I'll start to paint it, with the exception of these hilts, which I'll do in the same Dwarger metal mixed with a little bit of gold, but I will do that after I do touch up everything else around it. Otherwise I'm just a glutton for punishment and overpainting, because I don't want to accidentally overpaint it a little bit. So we're going to put some of these away. Just because I don't know what I need yet. And did you have a preference on the theme of the base? Queen Sassy Cat. If possible, we will do it. If not, I'll just do whatever I want. Rocky Cave. Perfect. I'm a boss at doing Rocky Caves. Alright. So everybody, look for these 2 drow to pop up next week on next week's live painting stream. I do not believe we'll be getting to them because we're also doing a base tonight. So this Tuesday, you guys will get to see something exact other than... Yeah, so artificers are engineers and stuff, but Kat wants to do a Yontai, which is a snake person artificer. So Yontai is going to be her class, her race, and artificer is her class. So she could have a big distrust for Warforged, because maybe the person that was experimenting on her, that she picked up her beginning her beginnings of the artificer class, her level 1 and level 0 stuff, could have been from a Warforged. Guys, I forgot about my Earl Grey tea. Is that a bug or dust? A bug or is that dust? It's dust. Okay. Alright, flock cart, flock cart. Time to get out the flocking cart. Oh, get away. Hey, you're right here. Good, good. You're already here. We need you, sir. We need you to do stuff. Okay. What is that? Oh, it's a ball. Okay. Ooh, time to do stuff. We're gonna do all kinds of stuff. We're gonna do a bunch of stuff. Okay, first things first. Yeah, you and your evil character, Shadow. If I was your DM, I would have said no to an evil character, because your character is just straight up evil. I don't enjoy... I love the idea of evil characters doing things as a group. But the idea of one person being evil in a group of good party members, it's like... It's one of those things that you have to trust the player to do and do things in a way that like makes the game fun and enjoyable. Because at the end of the day, we're all there to make the game fun and enjoyable for everybody else we're playing with. And every single time I've had somebody that's even like a neutral character, they've just been a dick and kind of just made the game not fun for other people. She's broken your brain for dark things? Wait, why did your happy-go-lucky cleric break your brain for dark things? Was she that dark, but also like happy-go-lucky? Or did she break your mind in such a way that you want to do dark things? Okay, well then yeah, that's good. One is neutral and the other one's evil too. Okay, yeah, so you got a better balance there. Because like you have like lawful good characters, and then like somebody's like, I want to play an evil person. I'm like, cool. If you're not gonna have a good time, not everybody's gonna have fun playing their characters. There we go. See? Like I said, whenever I cut myself with a knife for like the next couple weeks, I get really safe with the knife. And then I just get reckless again. I don't like how flat that is. We're gonna scuff it up. Sandpaper! Sandpaper, come back! Okay, sandpaper's back. Oh, we also gotta do the bottom. So yeah, I'll probably work on this for another hour or so after tonight's stream. Or tomorrow afternoon once things tack up a little bit. Okay, so here's our base. Ooh, or hey, Queen Sassy Cat, do you want a bigger base? Or do you want this side of the base? Are you gonna use it in D&D? Because we could do a lot cooler of a base if we do bigger. Played Evil Drown, a campaign of good characters. He's undercover. Yes, undercover actually works. That would work. Dude, that's a really good evil backstory. I like that. Because at any given point in time, like, he's still gonna do good things as well. Like, if only, and just always using the justification of it's going to be to hide. Oh yes, we're gonna do a bigger base then. Be right back. Okay. Yes. That's great. He would just wander off and murder people that annoyed him. I like that. Alright, get this tiny little dumb WizKid space out of here. So that's our base. Let's go ahead and build it up a little bit. you guys ever wonder what's above me, it's just a bunch of scrap material. Skinnier here. Actually, perfect. Sacrifices a lulf to appease her. Well, yeah, I mean, the Spider Queen, like, decides for herself. Like, you can do nothing or you can do everything you could possibly try. And it's up to her whether or not you're worthy. Alrighty. So what we're doing here is we're just going to go ahead and we're just kind of texturing up a rocky outface of some kind. Just removing our manufactured edges here. Yes, that I'm a lot more practiced at. I do that. Oh man, I can't tell you the hundreds of hours. Sorry, not hundreds of hours. Right, dozens of hours I've spent doing that to pink foam. Jeez. I've never once cut myself doing that though, hilariously. It's always dumb shit, like trying to stab a knife through hot glue. Why don't I just move this trash can closer? I've been dealing with that for days. Okay, cool. So there is where, so we'll have that there. And then we'll have this. Some rocks in here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll have just a couple other little rocks here. Floating about. Like so. And then we'll have her on there. Yes, we'll go ahead and we'll tear off some cork to make a little bit, just another little layer here. And then we're going to use this to do spider webs over the whole thing. Actually, I'm pretty happy with that. We'll just add in some random bits here. Don't need an extra layer. What we need is just to break up the base here. This big flat section. We'll also be adding in some flock and such. Yeah, okay, cool. So we're going to do that. First thing we need to do is we need to seal this pink foam with some black Mod Podge, which since I'm not doing crafting is somewhere else, so give me a sec. Oh, I'm glad you like this idea, Queen Sassy Cat. I am glad you like this idea. There's like kind of two modes that I have. I keep knocking this over a little bit more. There's kind of like two modes I have here at the house. It's like miniature painting, which is what you guys don't normally see, and then there's like crafting, which is kind of like what you see, like the Bioshock diorama that I made, the other things that I do, and you guys don't get to see that as much. So hopefully a little crossover doesn't hurt nobody. And this black Mod Podge is just normal Mod Podge, matte, satin finish, mixed with a little bit of Flow Aid and some black paint. What this is going to do is this is just going to seal the foam here via extruded polystyrene, which is what this pink foam stuff is very particular about what chemicals and aerosols can be used along with it. It's like if you were to spray this with like a spray paint or with any kind of spray or aerosol, like I'm going to matte varnish this model. If you hadn't done this and you hadn't fully sealed it with the layers of paint that you had used, it would just kind of melt. Same with like styrofoam, things like that. So what this does is this adds a little bit of, this just adds a protective layer, and the black helps us to hide the bright ass pink. I'm trying to add this thin so we can keep painting on tonight. We got other stuff to work on too, so we'll do that too. So we'll do that. And that's it. So we're just going to go ahead and let that chill out and dry. Should be dry in about maybe 15-20 minutes. No big deal. Maybe sooner. The air down here is pretty dry. So there's that. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and paint some rocks. We'll go ahead and paint these rocks up. And we're going to decide where this goes, actually. And we're going to just go ahead and glue this into place now. Okay, so like so. I kind of like it a little bit, kind of just in the middle. It's fine. And we're just going to use some tacky glue. It is stronger when dry than usually most super glues are. Super glue tacks a lot faster, but we just need this to be strong and secure forever. And it's not going to interact with the what do you call it? The foam at all. So just go ahead, put that on there, spread it all around, get a nice even coat on there. Good deal. And then we're going to place that in there, just like that. Done. And then clean off our fingers a little bit. And then, like I said, save this for when we make big messes. Like our fingers. Messy fingers. Sounds like a frat boy game that fucking idiots would play. Shpow! Okay. So let's paint some rocks. Ah, damn it. I want these to blend in, so I actually want to attach them in first. So this will just take just a few minutes to dry. But no big deal, we got some other stuff to do. I clean off this brush and select out some random scatter flock. Let's see here. Well, we don't need razor wire or normal dirt. I think we're good on those. You don't need those kind of peel in place turfs. Let's see here. Underground, we'll use some rocks. Use some of that. And we'll do some of this. And some of this. It's gonna be a huge base you're looking for. I hope you like it. It's a little big, which is fine. Actually, for a model like this, that's kind of what you want. I can't believe the WizKids models, like this is the base they gave for that frost giant. It's like literally large enough for the model to sit on, and that's it. And I understand why, and the reason why is because in D&D that is a 3" by 3" base, so it's a perfect size for a large creature. But I mean, come on, it's so much cooler if they did everything at like 1.5" scale or something. And I guess most people buy those models to play with them on, while playing D&D. That's fine. And I'm definitely feeling this. I can share with you guys a picture of the Spiderwebs. We'll do that while we wait for that to dry. So this is from the Good Enough Painting Gallery. I need to set it up so people can put exclamation mark gallery. So this is part of one of my latest commissions for some Lord of the Rings models. If you guys click on that link, you can see the spiderweb effects and stuff that we're going to be going for. But we're going to go a little bit more crazy with it because this is more of a display piece. Whereas that was one I had to be very careful where I put the spider webs because it needed to be able to be handled a lot for playing the board game. As always, I forgot that. Keep forgetting to paste that up. There is the current painting gallery. I'm still really behind on getting pictures taken and getting them up in there, as well as getting my Instagram updated. Just those things are so far low on my priority list. Okay. Almost there. Just go ahead and dab that a little bit. Plus, we don't need it to be clumped up. That's fine. Okay. So while that finishes drying, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some earth texture. Now, no, we're going to add some ground texture. The reason we're going to do the ground texture first is because we're going to need to paint over top of it. It doesn't have good pigmentation in this particular Vallejo texture paste doesn't have good pigmentation. So what we're going to do is the what? I saved that logo, but I don't think it shouldn't be in the gallery. Oh no, wait, okay, that's going away. My bad, everybody. Remove from album, please. Oh, okay, now I know why it's saved in my photos. It's in this album. Okay, I can fix this. Nice catch, Shadow. Add to. Save. So that should be saved on its own. And we should be able to remove from album. Nice catch. Thank you very much. Yes, it has been yeeted. I think, so it was saved there because I was sharing it with my wife. Freaks out, just in the gallery. Yes, well, it is gone now, so you no need to freak out. No need to freak out. My bad, my bad. Okay. So this is just some texture paste. What this is gonna do is this is just gonna add some texture to our base. It's much, much needed, just kind of like dirt and grime and stuff. We're going to add this one up against the cave walls and stuff to hide the very two-dimensional rock wall, like so. Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and we're going to tacky glue down a couple of these rocks. Alright, Queen Sassy Cat, thank you so very much for joining me on tonight's live stream. If you do have to leave for any reason, you can definitely check out the YouTube channel where the rest of your project will be live there. Minus, of course, the stuff like doing the final touches on the model, things like that. That stuff will be done at tomorrow afternoon or super late tonight. Yeah, perfect. And I am sorry, Shadow. I saved that because I wanted to I asked my wife's opinion on which one of the two of the options that she liked the most. And I had to share, and I threw them in an album because I was having trouble getting things to fucking save to my computer. Same name for YouTube, yeah. Good Enough Painting. I will pop a link up here in a sec. You can also see, oops, past crafting video projects as well as all of the other live streams. That tacky glue is going to take a hot minute to dry, but that's no big deal. We're going to go ahead and we're going to grab some of this texture paste. We're going to go ahead and just kind of blend in that corner here. Hey folks, remember, $10, you can get a paint job like this. Okay, go find the YouTube channel. There we go. Paste up there in the Twitch chat alone, I believe, because people that are watching this live on YouTube right now, they don't really need a link to the YouTube channel. All right, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna run an ad here, and just so we don't get a random one here in 9 minutes, and I will be right back. Fucking nose. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the ad should already be over. But Twitch did say that the ad's already done. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it keeps the pre-rolls. The timer keeps going up. So like I get a little countdown timer that says pre-roll ad going to start in X number of minutes. And it did say 5 minutes before, and now it says 38. So if you guys aren't getting ads, then I'm gonna keep doing that. I think last stream, guys, over the course of all of my streams, I have made 19 cents from ads on Twitch. It's pretty cool, right? 19 cents. You know what that is? It's like a third of a, like a tenth of a bottle of paint. Not even, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a lot less than a tenth of a bottle of paint. But it's part of a paintbrush, part of a model. Every little bit counts. Except actually, I haven't gotten paid by Twitch yet. You have to make like $100 or something before they give you your first payout, which makes sense. Prevents someone from getting like if you've only made like $10, they really don't need to be cashing out at $10 increments. That's a little ridiculous. All right, cool. All right, our little lady of the Lulth is going to go right there. So let's go ahead and get her in place. Or at least figure out where she's going to go. Let's go ahead and mark her in. Nice. Thank you for adding those images in. That helps a lot. It does help a lot. The more information you give your commission artist people, the more comfortable they're going to be when they do it, and the more fun both of you guys are going to have. Where did I put my paint markers? Yeah, screw it. We'll just use paint. Or no, we need to paint it first. Yeah, so we'll paint. I need to figure out where the model's going. Ugh. Order of operations always killed me on this. So that's going there. So let's go ahead and we're going to add in some of our random bits of rock. I like that. That little guy. Minus that, because that's just going to fall off immediately. Okay. There we are. Tacky glue. Ooh, potential environments that he would live in to give ideas for the bases. I love that. Jesus Christ. Really? I've been doing that for like 2 years now, and I very rarely drop it. And twice in a single night? Ugh, it's like it knows that it's dirty as hell, and I should be cleaning it out more. You're gonna be dirty, and you're gonna like it. Stupid little paint thing. Okay. So we'll grab our little tweezer deezers. Ta-da! So the same thing you did for Ralph? Yes, that was perfect. Ralph had a great base by the end of it. Alrighty. Speaking of, you gotta save up those points so you can buy Ralph. $6K. Oh, nice. Going strong, yeah. go ahead and get one more tiny rock on here. And these rocks, quote unquote, are just torn up bits of cork. I like you. But I want half of you. Kind of like my bitch ex-wife. No, I'm kidding. I do not have a bitch ex-wife yet, but my current wife is pretty delightful. So I don't think I'm ever gonna have a bitch ex-wife. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. So we have a bunch of our texture pastes, all that crap on here. This all needs to dry. And Queen Sassy Cat, are you still here? If so, make your presence known. I have a question for you. Let's see here. Actually, I will just text her. Oh, you should her. Okay, cool. Still here. Two options for you here. One, I just kind of finish this in my own time over the next like couple nights or so, or I save this for Tuesday night's live stream, and you get to join us for completion. I think just the drying time on a lot of this stuff is going to bring us into like probably the 6-hour territory by the time we get this done. So that is up to you entirely. I do not have a preference either way. I have plenty of things that I do, but I want to make sure to get this done. Yes, my stream thing is always a little bit behind. I think each stream is behind. Yes, there's always a little bit of a delay. And I think actually YouTube has more of a delay than Twitch. I do not know. Tuesday works for you? Cool. So everybody, come check this out. Here's our model from tonight's D&D Monster Manual painting. On Tuesday, I'll tell you what I will do is I am going to finish painting up this Drider later tonight / tomorrow. But Tuesday, we're going to turn this into a spider's nest. But here we have the beginnings of hopefully a pretty epic base. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and turn that light off. As you can see, these rocks are actual rocks that I have used a plaster and mold to create. So you can't see them now because they're white and they're just god awful, but they actually have like rock texture and everything on them, so they're gonna look really good by the time we're done. So we're gonna do that. Join us tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to dive into streaming video games for the first time. It will only be on Twitch. I'm not going to simulcast it to YouTube. I don't need that content there. I do simulcast these because they are great for people that want to find how to paint models. The rest of tonight is going to be me going in and renaming all of my other previous YouTube live streams from... they're all saying Tuesday night live streams for whatever reason. I have to figure out why. Depending on time, you might not be there. Aw, Shadow, that's all right. It'll be about 10 p.m. start, somewhere between 10 and 11. I got dinner with my parents tomorrow. My wife and I probably won't get home until about 9:30 or so, and then we'll probably start streaming after that at some point. So if you're on, awesome. If not, I'll catch you on Tuesday. No big deal. And I'll check out those pictures you sent me for your big red dragon. Anyway, folks, I hope you have... This stream on Twitch says Friday Night Monster Manual Madness, but I believe the YouTube video says Tuesday. Yeah, it says Tuesday night painting live stream. I think it has to do with the stream key that I am pasting into my encoder. So we'll have to figure out that, or I'll just have to remember to rename them appropriately. Anyway, or we might just start calling our streams Hobby Time stream or something. I'll think that out. Or just Monster Manual Madness. Or just Good Enough Painting Hobby Time. I don't know. Figure it out. Anyway, you folks have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much for joining me. Every moment of your time that you give to me is just such a gift, and I appreciate it. I hope you all have a great rest of your night, a great phenomenal weekend. Check out my YouTube video on Sunday, And genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, from the top of my heart, and literally every part of my being except the parts you don't want. You guys have a great rest of your night, and I appreciate every little bit of support. Alright, I'm going to end the stream now. I'm going to hit this little button that says stop streaming. So I'll catch you guys all Tuesday or tomorrow.